Zdorovye is the culmination of centuries of Slavic wisdom and decades of scientific research. What was discovered was that fear and anxiety, stress and trauma over the years seek to diminish our health by disintegrating our breathing from our alignment, from our movement. Zdorovye is a total health system that will revitalize the connectivity of our health by reintegrating our movement with our alignment, with our breathing. This is not a program for you to follow. Don't expect to plug in your VCR and follow every exercise to its completion. Explore Zdorovye. Share your experiences with your friends and family. Recapture the unlimited health of Zdorovye, nature's legacy. Welcome to phase 1.3 of the Slavic natural health system Zdorovye, entitled Dihania, or natural breathing. Breathing is life. It is our interrelatedness with the world and our means for managing our energy levels. Through Dihania, you'll bolster your energy, manage your anxiety, and diminish fatigue.
Dihania, or breathing, is another important component of Zdorovye, or the Slavic natural health system. What we need to do is reintegrate our breathing so that it works in conjunction with both our movement and our alignment. This program is going to go through and show you the different ways to reintegrate your breathing. As with any health system, before beginning this, make sure you do consult with a physician. Additionally, if you're going through some of these exercises and you feel flushed or dizzy or lightheaded, stop right away, sit down, and take a break. Rewind the tape then and watch the alignment and the movement and listen to the different tones in the breathing and try it again. We're going to start with a breathing pattern known as Собачье дыхание, or dog's breathing. More appropriately in America, we might consider this to be dog's panting, because this is going to be a compressed ventilation as we go through these exercises. In order to go through the exercises, we're going to break them down into 3 different levels. We're going to start in our upper body. This will be upper breathing or upper respiratory breathing, and we'll refer to this as prav. Next, we're going to move down to our intercostal region, or middle breathing, and we'll refer to this as yav. Finally, we're going to go deep into our diaphragm. Diaphragmatic breathing, or lower breathing, is going to be referred to as nav. We're then going to integrate all 3 of those levels together. In order for us to do this, we're going to look at our movement and our position, just as we've done in our other videos. To start things out, we're going to look at the proper alignment necessary for these different breathing patterns. And we're going to refer to this position as stoika. In stoika, you need to be relaxed. You're going to be relaxed. Your hands are going to be down at your side to start. Knees can be bent slightly, and you're going to tilt your pelvis in underneath you. Shoulders are going to roll back. Make sure that you have good alignment from the crown to the coccyx. And I'll just take a step so you can see that from the side. Have good alignment all the way through this. For prav breathing, or upper breathing, we're going to have a forced or compressed exhalation followed by a short compressed inhalation. The exhalation is going to come through our mouth, and we're going to inhale through our nose. We'll start with a compressed exhalation, and it should be very short and come from our upper respiratory area of our body. And back in. You'll notice that the head starts to come forward just slightly. You shouldn't be bouncing your chin off of your chest for this, and you should always return to that perfect aligned position from the crown to the coccyx all the way through. Now again, keep in mind the alignment as we go through this. If we look at this at the side, again we have our alignment, and I'm going to bring my hands up just slightly. We're going to refer to this as our frame, or ramka. When we're doing upper breathing or prav breathing, we're going to keep them up just a little bit higher. And again, a forceful exhalation and then an inhalation through the nose. As you continue to work on this particular exercise, you'll find that you're going to become more and more comfortable with it. Let your whole body move with this. Remember, it isn't that you're breathing, you're being breathed by the motion of your body. So as we go through this, you're going to start to feel a little loose and almost get a bit of a bounce. Start out slow. This isn't meant for you to jump right into and start breathing really, really fast. Take it nice and slow until you feel comfortable with the exhalation and with the inhalation. Again, listen to the tone. Don't forget your alignment as you go through this, and as you work up, add in additional movement as you go through. Finally, you're going to be as you go through this particular exercise. I've asked Scott to come out and help a little bit with this particular demonstration so that I can point it out as he's going through the movement for Prav breathing. Right now, he looks pretty stiff, pretty rigid. Remember, you need to stay loose and relaxed for Prav breathing. So we're going to get our right alignment for this. First of all, I want you to notice that he is completely aligned all the way down, from the crown of his head all the way down to his coccyx. Additionally, he's brought up his arms into an upper frame, or ramka. Now, upper breathing again is going to be a short exhalation through the mouth and then a short inhalation through the nose. Go ahead. Now notice as he does this, his head is going to transpose slightly forward, and then it's going to come right back to that perfect alignment. He's not going to be bouncing his head up and down as he goes through this. Go ahead. Great. Now as he continues to go through this, he's going to allow his body to relax just a little bit. Here you can see that this isn't just about the breathing component. We have the alignment he constantly comes back to. We also have some movement. Remember, you are being breathed by the movement in your body. It's not just that you are forcing yourself to breathe. Thanks. One last thing about Prav breathing. You normally would do this particular type of breathing early in the morning, or before any type of exercise or activity that requires a lot of energy or inspiration. So keep that in mind as you go to do these exercises. We're going to continue on now with some more of our Sabachya Dhyana, but we're going to move further down in our lungs. This time, we're only going to focus on our exhalation. This is what the key performance goal is going to be for this particular breathing pattern. Don't think about inhaling. That'll happen, I promise. We're going to move down to about our intercostals. So try and think about your intercostals squeezing your lungs together. This particular breathing pattern is also going to have a slightly lower sound than the Prav breathing. So this is going to be our Yav breathing, or our intercostal breathing. Just our exhalation. Notice that I'm not forcefully inhaling again. My hands have also moved down a little bit. Instead of putting them up here in an upper frame, we're going to move them down into about a middle frame. Try and keep your hands where you're breathing at. If we're breathing at our intercostals now, that's about where our hands are going to go. Look at the positioning again and the alignment. You still want to keep the same alignment that you had before. Your hands have moved slightly, and now you're going to focus on the exhalation. Again, as with Prav breathing, you can continue to incorporate the movement throughout this exercise. The more you do this, the easier it's going to become. Don't consciously increase the speed as you do this, though. But as you start to feel more and more comfortable with this particular breathing pattern, you'll see that you can add more movement and get some more breaths in there. Again, the movement's going to help pump your body. You're pumping your body so that you can breathe your lungs. You're not going to really think too much about the breathing, but allow the movement and the alignment in your body to force yourself to breathe. Only think about your exhalation. The inhalation will happen naturally. Once again, let's take a closer look at the Yav breathing. Scott's joined me back out here again, and again, he's nice and rigid in an attention stance. What I'd like him to do first is move into our stoika so that he's nice and relaxed. He's also going to move his arms into ramka, or our middle carriage this time. Yav breathing, again, you're only going to focus on the exhalation as you go through this. Go ahead. As Scott does this, keep in mind the movement as well as the alignment. Look at the alignment that he has. He always comes back to the perfect alignment from the crown of his head to his coccyx, all the way down. Additionally, as he goes through this, you're going to see the movement articulate through his spine. You can even start to see his shoulders roll in just slightly. This is really what's causing the lungs to be breathed. Scott's lungs don't really do anything by themselves. Scott right now is using movement and alignment to cause his lungs to breathe. An interesting point is that's why you don't need to think about the inhale, because it's going to happen automatically. Your body is going to get compressed. As you can see, it's compressing in. As it opens back up, you're automatically going to inhale, and you don't need to consciously think about that. Just as if you were to squeeze out a wet sponge, it doesn't stay in that squeezed position. As soon as you let go, it's going to fill back up with air. The same thing is going to happen with your lungs as you go through this. But keep in mind, only think about the exhalation as you go through this. The inhalation will come naturally. Thanks. As I mentioned with Prav breathing, or upper respiratory, it's best to do that type of breathing pattern either in the morning or before an event that requires a boost of energy. Our middle breathing, or our Yav breathing, that's best to be done throughout the day, in the middle of the day, or whenever you need sustaining types of energy. We're now going to move on to Nav breathing, or our lower breathing. This is going to come from the diaphragm. This type of breathing can normally be done at the very, very end of the day, at dusk, or whenever you need calming strength to go through this particular exercise. This breathing is going to be much lower than both the Prav and the Yav breathing, and it's going to have a much deeper tone as you go through. Additionally, you're going to see that the body will articulate even more than it's done before. We're still going to assume our stoika. Our ramka is going to move. We started up here with Prav, we've moved down here with Yav, and we're going to go all the way down for Nav breathing. Again, only focus on your exhalation. The inhalation is going to come. Much, much deeper. And again, I'm not thinking about breathing back in. My body is going to cause the breath. It's going to cause my lungs to compress and then to open back up to suck the air back into my body. We're going to look at this from the side again. Here, we still have our alignment, we have our position. We're going to be nice and relaxed. Ramka has moved down this time and all the way down to our diaphragm. Again, the more you do this, you'll get more movement, you'll see more motion as you go through it, but keep your alignment straight. Make sure that you focus only on the exhalation. Don't worry about the inhalation. And you'll see also you'll add movement and alignment throughout this. Finally, as we get towards the end, as you work up to this, and back up.